gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
It's time for the Early Bird Special. Bringing you the best stories from the world of sports and sports entertainment. Now, here are your hosts, Sparky and Burdick.
Welcome back.
This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield. I'm so glad these two are back. Although, it does kind of end Jay's entire reign as a solo contender, which we'll get to in a second. Our guy KG will be coming in through the phone, Sparky. There's some issues with his audio or with his video at the moment. And without being able to actually see what he's looking at, I can't exactly help him.
But I will repeat while we wait on KG. I was happy to see the Usos together, not just because they're one of the best tag teams, but with what we've talked about. I mean, Jay seemed super tired and fatigued, and you know, when you're running down from the nosebleeds every TV show, and he's all panting and.
He's done his best, man. He's gotten in the gym. Every time I see pictures, I mean, it's him and Braun Breaker, so you're working out with the right guy.
But when Big Jim is on the mic, he is so much good on the mic.
So much better on the mic. It's crazy how much better. And that's kind of the problem, I think, is them on the mic together. It really highlights that, how much better that Jimmy is sometimes on the microphone. And I cannot begin to explain how much I am ready to see these two back together in a tag team setting. I don't think it's going to be for long term, though. I think there's a big thing going around the internet right now that's making people believe that it's going that route, that they're kind of done, especially with what we heard on Raw 2 weeks ago of when Jimmy saved Jay and all you hear is, I can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. Now everybody's sitting there thinking, oh, this man ain't going to be alone. He's going to be going back to the tag team. But I can't wait to talk to our guy KG here in a couple minutes because I have a question to post to him as well. I think that Spirit at LA Knight last night was them speaking out in tongue saying, oh, no, he's not going anywhere. He just needs help taking down B&B security. That's all it is. So once they handle B&B security, once CM Punk kind of takes care of his situation with Seth Rollins and now his wife coming into it with AJ Lee, I think that's going to be a fantastic. WrestlePalooza has really grown into a fantastic card up and down the board here. You get Stephanie Vaquera against Io Sky. We were supposed to get the contract signing last night. That didn't happen. You were supposed to get a whole bunch of interaction between some superstars last night, but I guess some travel issues happened and they couldn't get some people to where they were supposed to be. We end up getting the four-way that everybody wanted, though. Seth and Becky against CM Punk and AJ Lee. I'll get to my comments on AJ Lee at the end of this because I have some unpopular opinion for y'all. You ain't going to like me at the end of this episode. I'm sorry. And the other one, obviously, was B&B Security against the Usos, which honestly is going to be one of the best tag team matches we've seen from the four of them all together. I think this is going to be one of those situations where we can really get the most out of some of the best wrestlers we have in the WWE right now. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are slowly growing as the two biggest monsters on the main roster, but you're also pulling a guy like Bronson Reed up because everybody could not see him for some reason as anything more than a mid-carder. I disagree. I've always thought the guy's had some talent and has had some abilities to make it work. But with these matches against guys like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and now you're going to get the Usos, you're really rubbing shoulders with some of the best, and it's really starting to show what this guy can do. They really got to drop the tribal thief thing, though, in my personal opinion. You don't have the shoes anymore. You can't really call yourself the tribal thief anymore. But that's just me. That's my personal opinion. I cannot get over the fact that they are really pushing this entire tribal thief thing to its utmost limits. Because when they took the shoes off of him, I was like, well, he's not a thief anymore. He got his shoes back. So I don't know. That's the one part about the storyline that I don't really get. But we're going to get a fantastic match here coming up next weekend If I'm not mistaken, I don't think it's this weekend. It's next weekend. Because this weekend would be Worlds Collide, which is
WrestlePalooza is next Saturday.
It's next Saturday. Okay, yeah. So it's Worlds Collide this Friday, which is Dom Mysterio going for the AAA World Campion Championship against Vikingo, which is going to be fantastic. You can catch that on the YouTube channels, I believe. It's going to be technically through AAA, not through WWE. So it's going to be one of those situations where you're going to have to follow them on YouTube in order to watch it. It's completely free, though, for those of you who are, spiting the fact that we're going to have to pay $30 in order to get this thing to work. But it looks like our guy KG has actually gotten his camera to work. So let's shift over and get him in here. Sir, can you hear us? I could see him, but I don't know if I could hear him. Give me 1 sec. We got anything on his end? No? He'll be... Go ahead and fidget with your bike, my guy. I don't think we can hear you. But real quick, while he's fidgeting with that, Spark, what did you think about the entire thing last night? I know you said you had to stop the Monday Night Football game in order to watch it.
Luckily, I was able to pause it. And, overall, kicking off, I was happy with the Usos. I was happy to have them back. I was surprised with the Lyra Raquel match. I think this was probably the best match I've seen from Lyra. And I know Raquel is a G and she's a vet. So, she might be just a better. But overall, that match was awesome. I was about to give up on Lyra, but I think that match was solid, especially. And I am so in love with Asuka that everything that she does, I'm just a big fan. But I was going to bring up, not only, the Lyra, the Raquel, what's going on with Asuka and, all these other things. But, it just shows how great this women division is in the WWE. And I don't even have to bring up, the Rheas and Liv and, the other big names. And now with AJ Lee back and, with what they're doing with Becky, it just shows so much just talent that the WWE has in the women's division.
And I love that
I think they just took over Raw last night.
I love that they're cracking jokes about it too, because a lot of people on the internet, there's still a lot of misogyny around the industry saying I can't get behind women's wrestling. And Shawn Michaels is having none of that. He's absolutely having none of that. The TikTok videos that they make with some of these athletes are fantastic just to make fun of that type of mindset. Because you're right. They are the best in the industry. I don't think there's any other promotion that could say that. Again, I'll get to my thoughts on the whole AJ Lee situation towards the end of this conversation because I have an unpopular opinion, but it is what it is. And personally, I think that they can continue to build this with these top tier athletes. Becky Lynch, Bayley, all of these women aren't going to be here for very much longer. And I don't mean that in a sense of we want them out. I mean them in a sense of they're all going to want to start their own lives eventually, much like we've seen Naomi start hers. And you can't wrestle for your entire life. You know what I mean? There's eventually going to be a situation where you have to just let go of the reins and let somebody else come in and be that person for a while. I think that you've kind of seen flashes of who those women are going to be. Obviously, Julia, Stephanie Vicaire, Roxanne Perez, I think, is on that short list. And it's just great torches being passed to one and the other. So I agree with you 100%. Do we got KG now? I know you've been working with it, my friend. In. Can you hear us? The
other thing I was surprised with is they finally did something with Rusev, and with the match with him and Penta, it cooked.
It did. Again, we need to find other options for guys like Rusev. You can't just bring in big name guys like that and then have them, be. I don't want to say non-factors. That's not the right word for it. But not have suitable competition for them to really take on, to really to show all of it. Because Rusev is a fantastic, fantastic wrestler. And now I'm starting to see a lot of other people out on the internet say, we need more Rusev and we need Rusev in this John Cena retirement tour. I have seen that from a couple people, so I'm glad I'm not the only one there. However, I don't think we're going to see it. I think it's a little too short-lived. We already got to get through Brock Lesnar, most likely. Braun Breaker at some point will get a shot at him. It's going to be really interesting to see how all of this kind of comes to fruition. But I agree with you. Seeing him go against other people it's great to see because it shows that they're still planning on pushing him at least towards the mid card, because we need to see that at least. We've got to see some sort of push for Rusev into a championship level gold, because that's why you brought him back. You brought him back to complete his story, as you've done with everybody else. But that's, since we're already talking about Rusev, I'll just bring up my spot as we figure out this entire thing with KG's audio. I know everybody of my age group is excited to see AJ Lee back, and it's for good reason. There he is. Now we can hear you.
Hey.
So I'll present this to you since we're already in this.
Oh, yeah, I've been keeping up with you guys.
I know. You've been there the entire time. I feel you. So
thank you.
Rusev obviously being the talking point, but I'm going to switch it over to AJ Lee here because her promo was fantastic. But I'm going to explain my part and then let you ream into me because I've already kind of told you the way I feel about this. I don't care. Opinion. I don't care. I do not care that AJ's back. I do not give a rat's if that AJ is a part of the WWE again. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of AJ. She's a fantastic wrestler, and she is, like her husband, one of the greatest of all time to do it. But I'm going to throw this out to wrestling fans, and you guys can all text in and do as KG's about to do and call me an idiot. But why do we want to go back to 2015? Why are we so bent set on bringing back 2015 WWE when it wasn't good? There was nothing in that era that was good. Not AJ, not Punk. Punk wasn't even a part of it at the time. Not Becky. Not Nikki Bella. Not any of these people that you are bringing back right now. I think that we're just in this really weird motion of just capitalizing on nothing but nostalgia. And Absolutely. The WWE is just forcing it a little too much. I think you could have gotten a lot of really good stuff out of people you let go. Because a lot of these people who are angry that Karrion Kross and Scarlett got let go, they got let go because they needed the money for Rusev and AJ Lee. Remember that. These guys came in getting paid. And where does that money come from? It's
the fans.
You've got to know that, man.
Stockholders.
So that's my point. I don't understand why we're so bent set on going back to 2015.
Well, I'll give you a little hint on that, and it's not a totally unpopular opinion. It's a opinion I think that's being shared and kind of revolving around the internet right now. When you take a look at 2015 WWE and knowing that they are the nostalgia factory when it comes to reliving moments of our youth or just notoriety of the business, they're going to pump that like gasoline on the corner, man. They're going to make sure everybody's got a full tank, sick of it, or just tired of it. But we also have to remember this. 2015 WWE was a terrible place.
Right.
Terrible place.
It was awful.
Not just for the women's division, not just for the men's locker room, for the people who were in the offices that had to deal with the previous regime and just some of the ludicrous storylines they would come with. You know, you got to think about even up until the most recent time before Rusev came back, the storyline that Vince had with Bobby Lashley and his wife Lana, which was crazy, which involved Dolph Ziggler and all kind of weird stuff. But let's take certain things from that era and try to make them, I'd say, justified in what they went through. Thus why I think AJ Lee's back, because in 2015, besides this storyline, of course, why she's back, but in 2015, we didn't have a women's Royal Rumble. We were still calling them divas, so to speak. We didn't have the Night of Champions. We didn't have a Queen of the Ring. We didn't have a lot of things that the women of this modern day WWE era have access to. You know, the NXT feeder system of developing these women into more than just characters, but legit superstars. Not just somebody for a commercial break or to cool off a real hot match. Legit contenders like your Rhea Ripley and even Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair right now. So to see AJ Lee back in the midst of that, I think WWE, they know what they're doing as far as hitting you over the head for top dollar nostalgia. Prices aren't going down anytime soon. And it's another gouge at your pockets.
True. But again,
seriously. Now, the card that they've built off of this with WrestlePalooza, of course, we're going to watch. But nonetheless, we cannot deny the fact that how many more people are they gonna bring back? Okay, we've got the Bellas or one Bella, so the other one's either under the ring or around the corner. Good old twin magic. We've got Rusev back. How many more people? We've got AJ Lee back.
We're even going back to the Usos.
We just brought the Usos back, which they cut a fire promo on the B&B guys last night. We're looking at certain things that remind us of a time, but let's just hope they don't get too nostalgic in the product, because we got to remember there was a time we were turned off from the product because of just certain things that they were booking.
And that's my point, is that if we're really, unless this is Paul Levesque really saying, you know what, I can take what Vince had and make it better. Like, I can really take the concept that he had and turn it around into what it should have been. And don't get me wrong, I get there's a level of ego that comes into that with being the content creator. But do we really need to go back to 2025? I think that you were crushing it in 23, 24 with the stars that you have now made. You've already mentioned a lot of them, Rhea Ripley being one. The ones that are already coming up with Stephanie Vicaire and all these others. I don't think you really need to rub elbows with a lot of these people unless you have a main plan for them. Because to be honest with you, if the plan for Rusev was just to bring him back for a long matchup against Sheamus and then a run at the Intercontinental title, what's the point? Why bring him back at all? We could have had Karrion Kross, who is a bona fide superstar in the main event, and would have had way better stories.
Definitely. For as many W's that people say Triple H has provided us in this short time, with full control of creative, he's also gave us a few stinkers. So you've got to look at it as touch and go, but he did learn from Vince. Putting his own spin on that is going to be what defines him in this whole era of creative for WWE in the moment that it is seemingly its most popular and profitable. So, we kind of got to let that come to fruition before. Yeah, we got to let it marinate just a little bit longer.
That's fair.
I know Sparky ain't tripping.
I'm not an AJ or CM fan, so I also like the nostalgia, but I love Becky. But I'm 100% in on Asuka, so I just ordered her mask, so I'm hoping to present that into a video here in a couple weeks. But
put it right there.
I love her, man, and
there's a perfect spot next to you.
We're also in the middle of moving our studio here in the next couple weeks, so I'm hoping that whole week I've got some wrestling masks that I'm gonna bust out. But overall,
very nice.
Just from watching Raw last night, I am just so pumped about this women division. You just brought up 3 or 4 more that I didn't even bring up, with Charlotte, with all the other stuff. And one thing I will say out of the women's division, I'm so sick of this Bayley crap. Like, I don't understand. It is
just put her in the Wyatt.
Production is so horrible, and if she's gonna do the Wyatt thing, let her do the Wyatt thing already.
I think she is, though.
But it doesn't look like it, and I'm still waiting for Nikki Cross. So I'm like, okay.
Well, one thing I realized last night about Monday Night Raw were potential heel turn setups that I think are going to swerve us, especially with the Usos and LA Knight situation. People think Jay's acting more so like Roman, which I'm like, nah, he's acting like old school Jay Uso, Uso penitentiary, right hand man, stack him, smash him, very aggressive in how he's moving. Now, people, for the first time, you heard a couple of boos in those yeets, but it was still more yeets. They were very aggressive yeets, but what I seen happen really, or seen happening, is a LA Knight heel turn coming up on the horizon. Because look, Jay Uso sells more merch than anybody in the country, in the company, hands down. You think they're gonna take their number one baby face, who can go tween and in between this and that, and just turn him heel? Nah. If it comes down to it, I think more so they're gonna go ahead and give LA Knight that heel turn. He deserves it. They've been, putting him in contender match after contender match, and he's been coming up short. He's had the U.S. title, twice?
Yes.
Twice now?
Yeah.
It's time to give this guy at least a 90-day world title reign, to the next PLE or something like that, to push along a storyline. But I don't think we need to worry about the Usos going full-blown heel. Watch out for LA Knight, because with everything that he's been doing, I see shades of TNA LA Knight. Eli Drake coming out with the whole dummy button and all the insults are starting to accumulate a lot more viciously.
He reminded me of when he came out in the beginning of Raw to interrupt. He reminded me of the old Stone Cold with the jeans, and he was just coming out, and I liked it. I think that'd be beautiful, the heel turn with him.
I think they're on to something.
He has really encapsulated the old school feel of the 90s wrestler really well. And I know he gets a lot of grief from the internet claiming that he sounds too much like The Rock, or he sounds like this or that. And you can kind of hear it in the tone now. He's trying to change it to, separate himself, because as we've heard on LFG millions of times, anybody who tries to be The Rock, you're going to lose, because you just can't. There's nobody else that can be that guy. But I mean, I agree with you. I said it last week. I think LA Knight's poised for a heel turn here. I don't think he cares about the fan base anymore. The Yaz are going to be there regardless. And they really were setting up. Yep, exactly. They were really setting up this entire feud between the two of them in the pregame of the last PLE. I mean, when he's having that sit down with Kathy Kelly and he's sitting there saying, well, he essentially stole my gimmick. I look at the glasses and the 4-letter Y word and all this other stuff. They were setting that up perfectly. The entire time watching that interview, I'm sitting there saying, oh, we're getting LA Knight versus the Yeet Man here pretty soon. And that's why
versus Yeet.
I don't believe that any of the internet's push that we're done seeing Jey Uso as a singles competitor. I think that's all shenanigans, to put it lightly and clean it up. I don't think that's not going to happen, because he's like you said, he's too big. He's too big of a star. He's too big of a pull, and we just started. I highly doubt that Paul is sitting there thinking, you know what, let's take the rocket off. It didn't work, because it did.
It's still going up.
Yeah, I can't say that any of it didn't work. So I think we're headed towards a massive, massive feud between the two of them that's going to help both of their careers going forward. Let's move on to a different topic, though, since we're running out of time here. Dominik Mysterio this weekend goes up against Vikingo at Worlds Collide for the AAA Championship. Does he walk away double champ Dom? I think so.
I would have to say yes, but also it leads to him dropping the IC title to
somebody
AJ
else.
Styles, and AJ Styles becoming a member of... That's right.
Do you think he's going to jump in?
Judgment Day. We get a reunited Judgment Day kind of Bullet Club faction with Finn. It fit. It worked so perfectly.
And Liv could come back and be part of that too, because she's got past with both Finn and AJ.
Come on, man. You got bun, cheese, burger. Put it together. We eating over there, man.
No, it makes sense.
We eating over there.
Because the more we talk about it, man, the more I agree with you.
The clubhouse is going to crack.
It is. And I don't think they have any plan to end the Judgment Day. That's their number one faction. It has been for years. And it would make sense for them just to kind of continue the Judgment Day as whatever the heck they want it to be. It doesn't have to be the dark, broody, vampire-esque theme that they had starting out with Edge and Damian Priest and Rhea. It can change into whatever it needs to be.
I agree with you. Now, did you notice that when they went to commercial break, the promo that AJ Styles cut was still put on social media, which lets you know this whole gas is not a shoot. It's a work. Obviously, they want some type of friction with the fans believing that someone in WWE doesn't want AJ Styles there when they're continuously letting him do these things, either internationally, other affiliations, this semi-retirement run that they're prepping us for, been hinting at. I don't think it's a retirement. I think it's a goodbye to the phenomenal AJ Styles and hello to the 6-time X Division champion, 3-time NWA champion, 2-time the leader of the Bullet Club, AJ Styles.
We're
going to see that.
Do we lose the hair if he does end up turning heel and going back to his old ways? Because don't forget, he was short-haired back then. Yeah. And that was part of it. The clean cut look was part of it.
Emo soccer mom. I think he keeps the emo soccer mom. It's the hair flip. It's the hair flip for TV purposes.
That's
it adds
fair.
to the motion of the characters.
That's fair.
But Definitely, I would have to say with Dominik Mysterio going down there, I think this time he actually peels the championship off of Vikingo. It adds to some more friction or something with the Americanos because they've been helping him along storyline wise. They're probably going to, like Finn said, there's nothing in this business done without somebody asking for a favor. And they've been riding with Dominik. He's like, oh, it's a lucha thing. It's storyline wise, this feeds perfectly into them turning on Dominik or Dominik starting a lucha fashion. He might be recruiting some other luchas.
I could see
but
that.
Nonetheless, it's going to lead to him being ousted from Judgment Day and AJ Styles possibly being inserted.
I don't know if he's going to get ousted because if you listen to to what he said in the promo yesterday, especially during that interaction between him and Finn, where he's blaming everybody else and claiming, if you guys didn't get banned from ringside, I wouldn't need help and blah, blah, blah. And then he's going around saying, I don't need help. I did it by myself. I think we're going to start to see the side of Dominik again of just being pretentious, of just feeling himself a little bit too much, thinking he is the king of luchadors. And then that's when he's going to just go out on his own. He's just going to leave. And then all of Judgment Day is going to feel like they were betrayed by Dom because he just left them. And then maybe you do get an entire faction of luchadors and the king of the luchadors leading it in AAA, because I think this is going to be a great start to a career for him in AAA, bringing that production up. And not to mention, we're going to see a new relationship born between Dom and his father, Ray, because Ray is down there acting as the pseudo GM of the AAA promotion right now. And with Dom being his champion, imagine the storylines you can get out of that, along with some of the talent they have down there.
The possibilities alone are quite limitless because he's one of the most over guys in the company. And practically anywhere they go in the world.
No, he's one of the most over guys in Mexico. Like, he's going to run
the ovation that he got for just the previous interferences with spots leading up to Triple Mania. If those are any indication enough right there to show you how popular the Mysterio name still is and forever will be in the market down there, clearly Triple H, WWE creative, they know this. So I think by setting Rey Mysterio up as their GM, so to speak, like you said, those storylines, you think about it could start off as they have this history in WWE, but the whole time, as soon as they want to do a turn and he's realigned with his son, it's going to set whatever stadium they're in down there in Mexico, AAA, across seas, down south, wherever they're at, especially on television, it's going to make Mega Champion bucks, baby.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. We're looking at a new money-made Dom Mysterio. We're looking at a fusion of like Alberto Del Rio, Rey Mysterio, Dominik Mysterio. These I'd have to say eras of when luchadors are really at their peak, their prime performance era. It exudes, like as Razor Ramon would say, oozing machismo.
And you know what's funny? I think this is really what is going to be what Eddie could have been. I think definitely. We're finally going to get a run of what Eddie could have been at this level. And I don't mean that in the sense of Eddie never got to Dom's level, but the longevity of his championships are going to be shown here as what Eddie could have been through Dom. And I think that's a great sign. Real quick, before we let you go, because we are running out of time, what do you think is going to happen on Friday? Are we going to get a Brock Lesnar sighting again?
Yeah, he's live there.
And
he's the rarest Pokemon of them all.
He really is. I mean, at this point. But what?
And we get Drew and Orton on Friday.
What are your predictions?
I think with Orton and Drew, I would love to see some type of triple threat interference with Brock Lesnar, just to shake it up. You know what I mean? Why not? Why not?
Just have him run roughshod through everybody's feuds.
Everybody needs to fall down by the wayside with Brock Lesnar. Let's get one of those every random match that comes across the screen. He just runs in and F5s people. Since we're going back to 2015, might as well go all the way back there.
Might as well.
And then the lights go out and you hear,
Bring him back too. Have all his LFG dudes.
You might as well set off the fire too. Let's bring Kane back in. Corporate Kane.
Right,
Come
let's
on,
do it.
baby.
All that. Hey, might as well bring back Teddy Long and then have everybody in an 8-man tag team match
Again,
that night.
Nobody can explain to me why we have to go back to 2015. Please, can we pick a better era of wrestling to at
AJ
least
Lee
immigrate?
is annoying to me,
Look,
but
AJ is AJ. I'm not exactly keen on her being back just because that could have been Scarlett. That could have been Karrion Kross's money. But no, we had to cry and say, no, we need AJ.
and she
when
signed
you
a
really-
multi-year deal.
Of course she did. God. Why wouldn't they? There's been
It's
more
not like
money
we needed
made
more
now.
women. I mean, this
Okay, I'm gonna
women's
put it like
division
this.
is
I'm gonna
dope.
put it like this. The product looks great, right? But have you ever put McDonald's back in the microwave and tried to eat it again?
Exactly.
It's not that good.
It's
the
not
second
what you
time
remember,
around.
brother. I'm sorry. When you go back to that restaurant after a decade thinking, oh, I remember this when I was a kid, it's not the same. I promise
You've
you.
grown, your palate has matured, your taste buds have become more expansive in the realms of flavors, and honestly, it's great to see. I'm not knocking the career, I'm not knocking the move. It's just that with booking, this is going to go terribly bad.
What could
It starts off with Becky Lynch, but where are we going to go from here? Are we
I
gonna
will
give
say-
her a little title shot?
Becky rocked that outfit last night, dude. I
Hey, the
love
way-
it.
He's been rocking all
The
the
way
Sept's-
they've been coordinating, I'm
Sept's
gonna keep it real. I know
clothes,
we
and I'm
don't
just
talk
like,
fashion.
She
God, I
rocked
love it.
that, dude.
I know we don't talk fashion on this show, but just real quick, the way her and Seth have been coordinating,
Oh,
those
100%.
are couple goals.
It is money.
Those are goals you want to have as a couple, whether you're
You know what it
a
is,
wrestler,
dude? It's-
whether you're a teacher, a normal person, whatever.
Remember
Hey,
the
whoever-
video?
whoever the designer is real nice.
Remember the video a couple years ago when Becky was jealous of Seth Rollins' all poofy outfit for WrestleMania, and she's like, God, I wish I could wear. This is her time that she finally gets to wear
Yeah,
what she wants
Nice.
to
you
wear.
see how she came out with the red, the glasses.
Yup.
She is
Yeah, it was
She
fire.
wants to be just as
embodying her
eccentric as her husband
husband's
is, dude.
The furry
It's
boots.
very cool to see.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic, man. Well, thank you so much for your time, my brother. As always, we'll talk to you next week. And condolences, my friend. We
Much
won't.
love, brother.
Much love.
Thank you. I just want to send some shout out to my family, man. Thank you for everybody that's been checking in on us. We lost our grandmother this Sunday.
102
and,
though?
At
That's a hell of a
102,
run, my friend.
It's a blessing. So I just want to say thank you to you guys in the community out there. We really appreciate it. And
that's a
love
good-
y'all, man.
It's a good thing for those of you who are listening to us right now, because that means you're going to be listening to me, Sparky, and KG talk about wrestling for the next 70 years. Because this man's
Yeah.
going to be alive till 102. My
They'll
friend,
make us do it till we're 90.
absolutely. And I'll be doing it every single day, loving every single minute of it. My friend, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you next week. We got to take a break, pay some bills. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield.